Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Carlton Lewis, a.k.a. Mellow Melanin, coming to you live and direct from Atlanta, Georgia. And we're going to get this conference call started. The time now is 7:59. We're just going to go ahead and assume that it's 8 o'clock. And today we are going to talk about dreams. And more specifically, the topic of this call is begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. And it's more than just goal setting and having a desire to do something. There's a formula that goes with it, and if you stick with me toward the end of to the end of the call, I'm going to share that with you. But for now, if you're, I want you to close your eyes and get still and visualize. Hopefully you're not driving and you're trying to close your eyes. We don't want you to do that. But practice this exercise later on if you are driving. But right now, I want you to close your eyes and relax and get still for a moment. And I want you to think about a time in your childhood that you really wanted something really, really bad. Like you really, really wanted something really bad. And every time you thought about it, you just got excited. And I want you to capture that feeling. I want you to think about how it felt. I want you to see yourself as a child and imagine that feeling that you got whenever you thought about this thing that you wanted. All right. Now, I want you to open your eyes, and I'm going to tell you a story on how this relates to what you just did. And the story is, it's a law of attraction story. It's a begin with the end in mind story. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I don't know how old you are on this call. But most of us know about Xboxes and PlayStations, the gaming systems that are out in this generation. But in my generation, as I was coming up as a youth, it was an Atari 2600. And a few of my friends in the neighborhood had an Atari 2600. And this was, all the rave. It was the latest thing. You could play games on your TV. It was color, and it was fun. They were fun games. They were easy to play, and you could have competitions with your neighborhood friends. So, I played the games with my friends at their house. But I wanted my own Atari 2600 for my own personal use. So what I would do, every time I saw this thing, or every time, I could go somewhere with my mom, I could be in a department store, and I would see an Atari 2600. I would get excited. I would jump up and down, Atari, 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 Atari. Now, if you're a parent, you probably can understand, and visualize your child wanting something so bad. Every time they saw it, they just jump up and down. It would get on your nerves. And I know I got on my mother's nerves. So it was that desire to want that Atari 2600. And I was relentless about it. I would talk to my mom all the time about it. Mom, when am I going to get the Atari 2600? Am I going to get it for my birthday? Am I going to get it for Christmas? When am I going to get it? You don't have to wrap it up. I'll take it just like it is. I was really excited about the Atari 2600. And lo and behold, I did get the Atari 2600. And I had a ball with it. Fast forward a few years from that, when I was playing football, there was some equipment that I wanted. I wanted a pad, a knee brace pad for my knee or for my elbow or something like that. And I just started learning, and I was a preteen. I don't even think I was a teenager yet. I started learning visualization techniques when I was young. So I would imagine me having the type of knee pad or elbow pad. I imagined what I wanted. And one day I was at the park, at the football park, after one of my games or before one of the games. I just know I was at the park. And lo and behold, a knee pad shows up, elbow pad, and it was mine. No one was there to claim it. It stayed there. I took it. So what am I saying to you? I'm saying that we can create things with our mind. We can create situations with our mind. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that you get from your parents. I mean, but the universe will answer your request. I know that may seem a little heady for some people, but try it out. I'm going to give you some steps later on how to actually try this out. This is going to be a short call, a 15-minute call. I'm testing it out today, and we're going to see if it's going to be something that I do daily, a daily mindset call. So what I want you to do, just like you just did this morning when you first got on the line, you got quiet and you visualized and you saw in the past something that you really wanted when you were younger. But what I want you to do now is think about something that you want to do now. Think about something, let's just keep it short term, something that you want to get done this week. Think about something that you want to have this week. What's the outcome you want to have at the end of the week for just one area of your life? I want you to write it down. I want you to close your eyes and visualize it. And before you even close your eyes and visualize it, after you write it down, I want you to say it, and I want you to say it in the positive present tense. Like if you're in a business, and most of you are on this call probably business owners, if you're in a business, I want you to say, I achieve X amount of sales this week, or I am a master marketer, or I get 1,500 followers on Instagram this week, or I get 10 new followers on Facebook this week. I want you to say that, and then I want you to close your eyes and visualize it. Close your eyes and visualize it. And while you're visualizing it, I want you to feel what it will feel like to achieve that goal, to get that outcome. What would it feel like? How would it make a difference in your life? I want you to really, really feel it. I want you to really, really feel it. So we're going over some real powerful spiritual laws. There are laws to everything, just like there's laws of gravity. There are spiritual laws as well as physical laws like the law of gravity. Now, you can't see laws. You can't see them, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist. So that's one set of action steps I want you to do, and that's called the written affirmation technique. I learned that from Brian Tracy, the written affirmation technique. Write the affirmation down, say it with feeling, visualize it with feeling, and your faith will put it in action and make it real for you. This is not hocus pocus. It may sound crazy. Some of you are probably not going to do it, and that's okay. But there's a saying, it works if you work it. And I believe that, and I know it to be true. I've manifested cars. I've manifested houses. I've manifested situations and circumstances in my life. And we're all manifesting situations and circumstances, but this is a conscious way to do it. This is a conscious way to do it versus just being reactive. You're being proactive. And if you're familiar with the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, habit number 1 was being proactive, and habit number 2 is beginning with the end in mind. Know where you want to go. Know where you want to go. What's your end result? What is the outcome? It's not hocus pocus. This is great thinking. Great people think like this. Highly effective people think like this, and you want to be effective. So I want you to do something else. The second set of action steps I want you to do is I want you to Google 3 things. I want you to Google the law of attraction. I want you to Google the law of expectation, and I want you to Google the law of belief. These are three very powerful spiritual laws, and they're spiritual laws, and they will bring things to you, and you will start to understand why a lot of things have happened in your life if you can start to really understand these laws. Most of us say things, we're not conscious of the things that we say and that we put into the universe, and when things show up, they don't understand how this happened. Well, this is how it happened because you spoke it into existence. You spoke it with conviction, and you were serious about it. You were upset. You had a lot of passion behind it, or you had a lot of joy behind it, and you brought something into your reality. And the Bible said God spoke and said, "Let there be light." We have power like that too. We can speak things into existence. That's one of our spiritual powers that we have. And I'm not trying to be too heady on spirituality or religion or anything like that, but it's written. It's in the book. It's in the book. So the law of attraction, law of expectation, and the law of belief. And one other thing that will really help you this week is to get a vision board. That vision that we talked about earlier, that thing that you want, whether it's this week or long term, to help you get a clear vision, create a vision board. And there's a movie called The Secret that talks about creating a vision board. You can Google vision boards as well. You don't have to go get the movie The Secret, but you can Google vision boards and just start cutting out pictures of magazines, taking pictures with your smartphone, printing them out, and putting them somewhere where you can see the pictures every day, and that you can image the pictures in your mind. We have the power to image. We have the power to create. Someone said, I think it was Einstein, I'm not really sure, he said the imagination is like the scissors of the mind. It cuts out real things for you. So get you a vision board. Let's start to use our creative ability a bit more, just a little bit more. Someone else said we only use about 10% of our mind. 10%. What if you could just tap into it and get maybe 5% or even just 1% more? How would your life look then? So those are the things that I want you to do. Those are the action steps. I want you to practice the written affirmation technique. So that means you're probably going to need to go get a notebook, right? Go get a notebook. You can get a notebook from the grocery store for $1. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you want to upgrade to something fancy, that's totally on you, but you don't need that to get started using this technique. You just need a regular notebook with some lines in it. Date it. Write down your affirmations. Speak it with feeling. Visualize it with feeling. And practice this every day. Practice this every day. Practice this every day. And don't be anxious as to when it's going to show up. It'll show up if you practice it and you believe it. There's the law of belief. If you expect it to happen, that's the law of expectation, and it will attract to you. It will attract to your mind. Is like a magnet. It pulls things to you. It creates real things. That's the law of attraction. Because you thought about it and thought about it and thought about it and visualized it and felt it, felt the feeling. A lot of times it's not really so much that we want the thing, we want the feeling that the thing will give us. It's a big difference. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this call up. I want to keep these calls to about 15 minutes because we all have our day to go through, and it's just that little shot in your arm, that little shot to keep you going in the morning, to keep you moving forward. So what I want you to do, the last thing I want you to do is I want you to go to my blog, www.whoiscarlton.com and subscribe. Get on my email list so you'll know when things are happening. I have courses all the time, all kinds of training from top earners, so you can build your business to a whole different level, different mindset trainings, not with just me, but a whole community of people. I want to put you on to that. And the best way to do that is to get on my email subscriber list. And also, once you get on my subscriber list, you'll get an invitation to my private Facebook group. Get an invitation to my private Facebook group. So, once again, that website is www.whoiscarlton.com. Get on my subscriber list. Go ahead and do it now. Write it down if you got a pen. There's going to be a replay number. The playback number is 712-775-7029. 712-775-7029. And the access code is 797-316, and followed by the pound sign, hashtag as we're calling it nowadays. 797-316 is the access code. All right. It's been good talking to you this morning. Go forth with passion. Don't forget to do the things that I said to do. You'll see some changes in your life, because that's why you're on this call, to make some changes. All right. Once again, this is Carlton Lewis, a.k.a. Mellow Melanin, coming to you live and direct from Atlanta, Georgia. Have a great day.